You have scooped it onto tacos, baked potatoes, nachos, burritos, that cold, tangy white dollop that 50 million Americans reach for every single week. But nobody stops to think about what it actually is. What if the cream sitting in your fridge is alive, deliberately infected with billions of bacteria that were pumped in on purpose? And the compound that gives it that buttery smell once destroyed factory workers' lungs? Let's explore the process. 3,500 years before Christ, the Botai people of Kazakhstan milked wild mares and stored what they collected in leather saddlebags strapped to horses. The riding did the rest. Motion churned the milk. Ambient bacteria found their way in. The result was kumis, fizzy, sour, slightly alcoholic. One traveler called it champagne mixed with sour cream. Still consumed in Central Asia today. No one invented fermented dairy. It invented itself. Leave cream outside and wild bacteria colonize it. The technique drifted westward. Russia, Poland, Ukraine. Smetana became the backbone of borscht, stroganoff, pierogies, a culture built on cultured cream. Then it crossed the Atlantic. Eastern European Jewish immigrants, New York's Lower East Side. Breakstones started in 1882. Lithuanian immigrants selling kosher butter, then sour cream. Daisy brand launched in 1917. Russian immigrants delivering dairy by horse and buggy. Survived the Depression. A factory fire forced them to Dallas. 5 generations later, Daisy is the #1 sour cream in America. Here is how a modern factory turns raw cream into what sits in your fridge. Tanker trucks deliver fresh cream. Every batch gets tested. The cream is standardized to 18 to 20% milk fat. Enough to build body, not so much it turns to butter. Then everything alive gets killed. Pasteurization. 85 to 90 degrees Celsius for up to 30 minutes. Most people think this step is only about safety. It is not. Heat denatures whey proteins. Those unfolded proteins bind with fat globules and casein, trapping moisture, building structure. Pasteurization is a texture tool disguised as a safety step. Then comes the American secret. Double-pass homogenization. 2,000 to 3,000 psi, forcing cream through openings smaller than a human hair, twice. A 2025 study confirmed double-pass at 15 megapascals produces the thickest, most stable emulsion. 1 pass gives you European sour cream. 2 passes give you American. The factory just sterilized the cream. Killed every microbe. Now it does something that sounds like sabotage. It pumps bacteria back in. 1 to 4% starter culture, mixed into the warm cream. The cast, Lactococcus lactis, produces acid. Lactococcus cremoris builds body. Lactococcus diacetylactis creates the buttery aroma. Leuconostoc, mesenteroides generates carbon dioxide and flavor. 30 minutes of gentle mixing, then mixing stops. 22 to 25 degrees Celsius, undisturbed. 14 to 16 hours in the dark. Bacteria eat lactose and excrete lactic acid. pH drops from 6.5 to 4.5. Casein coagulates. The cream thickens. Target: 0.60% lactic acid. That number balances tang, texture, and shelf stability. Some factories ferment in bulk tanks, then package. Others fill retail containers first and ferment inside the tub. Same science, different body. If some sour cream feels firmer from the store, that is why. But here's where the story flips. That buttery aroma comes from diacetyl. Lactococcus diacetylactis produces it naturally by metabolizing citrate. Diacetyl is everywhere. Beer, wine, coffee, cheese, butter. The molecule your brain reads as rich and creamy. In the early 2000s, workers at microwave popcorn factories started getting sick. The diagnosis: bronchiolitis obliterans. Irreversible scarring of the smallest airways in the lungs. Some needed transplants. The cause was concentrated diacetyl vapor, inhaled 8 hours a day on the production line. Conagra pulled the compound from their artificial butter flavoring after the scandal broke. The same chemical that destroyed factory workers' lungs makes your sour cream taste buttery. The difference is concentration and route. Eating trace amounts in fermented dairy poses zero respiratory risk. Inhaling industrial concentrations does. Safe to eat, dangerous to breathe. Flip your sour cream tub over and read the ingredient list. Daisy regular sour cream. Cultured cream. One ingredient, that is it. Thickness comes from natural fermentation and double-pass homogenization. No preservatives, no stabilizers, no gums. Now pick up a typical store brand. Great value, for example. Cultured cream, modified food starch, sodium phosphate, gelatin, gar gum, carrageenan, locust bean gum. 7 ingredients. The additives artificially create the same thickness that Daisy achieves through process alone. The trade-off is real. Store brands run 20 to 30% cheaper. Then there is the light sour cream paradox. Remove fat and you lose body. Lose body and you need to replace it. So light sour cream contains more additives than the regular version. Fewer calories on the nutrition label. More processing on the ingredient label. Whether that trade-off works depends on what you are optimizing for. Different priorities, different budgets, different kitchens. The answer is hiding on the ingredient label. Carrageenan, a seaweed extract used as thickener in most store-brand sour creams. The FDA calls it generally recognized as safe. Research tells a different story. A 2025 study found gut bacteria break carrageenan into fragments that upregulate pro-inflammatory genes. IL-1 beta, TNF-alpha, IL-6. Your microbiome turning a common additive into an inflammatory trigger. A 2024 clinical trial. Short-term intake damaged intestinal lining, impaired insulin sensitivity, Crohn's disease, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Daisy has 0 carrageenan. Most store brands have it. Flip the tub. After fermentation, cream cools to 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. Maturation takes 6 to 48 hours. Fat crystallizes, diacetyl develops, flavor rounds out. 2 to 4 days. Brands split here. Some pasteurize again. Kills live bacteria, eliminates probiotic benefit. Daisy does not. Live, active cultures. A living bacterial colony. 5,000 years ago, bowtie horsemen left mare's milk in saddlebags. Bacteria came to them. Today, factories inject specific strains into sterilized cream. The only thing that changed is control. Next time you peel back that lid, you are not just scooping a condiment. You are choosing between a product with 1 ingredient and a product with 7. Between a living bacterial colony and a pasteurized imitation. Between a tradition that started in Kazakh saddlebags 5,000 years ago and a factory line that kills everything, then brings it back to life. So which one's sitting in your fridge right now? That is the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there is something you would like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.